Are you serious? Are you serious? Trying to enjoy some coffee this morning, but we've got earthquakes. The earth is definitely shaking and quaking. Now, last night we brought BP Earthwatch onto our broadcast last night. He did an expert job, as he always does, about the solar flares and the fact that the CMEs do put pressure on the earth and create earthquakes, no question. There was, though, what was called a proton burst or a proton arc, and there's actual pictures of it at spaceweather.com. BP brought it out that these are bursts of protons from an eruption, a massive eruption. Then the CMEs that come behind it drift in, and so we had a 5.8 earthquake last night in Indonesia, but this morning we've had a 6.1 earthquake in the South Indian Ocean, and that was followed by a 5.2 3 hours later, and then a 5.4, and then another 5.4, 5.4 has followed the 6.1. So there's definite shaking going on. Matter of fact, if you take a look at since last night, while we were on the air talking about the pressure from the CME, this 5.8 earthquake hit Indonesia. Very shallow. It was only about 10 kilometers deep. Then a 4.6 hit the northern Marina Islands, which is the exact same spot that the 7.7 earthquake that hit there on Friday night when the proton burst came from the sun. Okay? Now the CMEs have arrived. Get this, a 5.3 in Azerbaijan, a 4.6 in Fiji Islands, a 5.0 in Tonga, very shallow 6.1 in the South Indian Ocean. Very shallow, very strong is the terminology on it. Matter of fact, let me just tell you what they're reporting here. They're saying a strong earthquake in the South Indian Ocean this morning, a 6.1, only 10 kilometers deep, very shallow, and there was concerns of tsunami warnings, but I believe those have passed now. I'm just taking a peek here and make sure. But they said that last time we had the 7.7, and then later BP Earthwatch found where 5 buoys detected that there was a tsunami wave of about 3 foot high that had come from that earthquake. But that earthquake was 7.7 over in the northern Marina Islands and was about 200 miles deep. This earthquake this morning, 6.1, 10 kilometers deep. Very shallow, right in the Indian Ocean, South Indian Ocean. So we're going to keep a close eye on what goes on with that. It was followed also by an earthquake of 4.6 in Kyrgyzstan, 4.9 in New Zealand, 4.7 in Mexico, 4.8 in Indonesia, 5.2 strong quake in Burma, 5.4 again right there in the South Indian Ocean. Okay, so there's definitely from the northern Marina Islands through Indonesia to the South Indian Ocean, right through there, there's definite activity, no doubt, jarred loose by the proton burst or proton arc, which also created a spectacular arc that was visible in the sky and also affecting the earth with earthquakes. So keep a close eye on what's going on throughout the day today. The CMEs are in the process of putting pressure, and there could be more earthquakes, including another very, very powerful quake. But 6.1 South Indian Ocean this morning indicates the pressure from the CMEs certainly have triggered this quake. We'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to Bible prophecy. Jesus said there would be earthquakes in diverse places or different places. Now, the Bible talks about earthquakes playing major roles in the prophetic revelation of the coming of Jesus Christ. I did a television show called The 7 Prophetic Earthquakes, and you can watch that entire television show. It's on my YouTube channel. It's very powerful. It tells you where there was 7 major earthquakes in the Bible, 6 of which have already happened, and each time the quake hit, a major biblical prophecy event took place. Like when Moses received the law, the 10 Commandments, the Bible says that the mountain shook, quaked, and shook. It tells us from this earthquake. We know that when Jesus died on the cross, there was a major earthquake that tore the veil in half and shook Jerusalem. We know that when Jesus rose from the dead, there was a major earthquake, and many bodies of the saints were seen walking around. There's all through the Bible tremendous earthquakes, very prophetic events that take place. So I always keep an eye on the earthquakes on a daily basis. We have for over 6 years, watching what's happening. Also, the sun has become very volatile. The sunspots are getting larger. And BP Earthwatch said last night on our show that you can keep an eye on the sun, the sunspots, because they are no question very active, and we could have another huge burst of solar flares, which could send major CMEs or proton burst, cause catastrophic events here on the earth. We know we're in the last days. Give your life to Jesus Christ. Be born again. Don't be left behind. Don't be left behind.